Google Pixel 8 Pro versus Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra Speedtest. Let's begin with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now, the Google Pixel 8 Pro does have the Tensor G3, and the phone also does come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's facing off against the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 over there with 12 gigs of RAM. And so I'm still getting these little loading sign every time I boot up my Pixel. And the Samsung looked to boot up a little bit faster. Okay, so I do have Face Unlock on both phones. Let me go ahead and see which one is faster. 3, 2, go. And you've seen, was that the Samsung? It might have been, that was really close. I think the Samsung's animation might be a hair quicker. Maybe it's the Pixel. Let me know which one was quicker. It's kind of hard to tell here. It's so close. That one was definitely the Pixel. But I think the Pixels might be more secure because it's kind of hard to fool the Pixels one. Although I haven't been able to really fool the Samsung's Face Unlock either, but the Pixel is doing some magic to make, it even more secure than ever without having to put like a Face ID thing, and then you could use it in banking apps and stuff like that with the Pixel. Okay, so let's see which one is faster when it comes to the fingerprint sensor. You can see it might have been the Samsung. We'll do that again. 3, 2, hold on. That one got my face. 3, 2, go. Looks like the Samsung might be a little faster with the animation. So not a big deal of difference on either. I think with the Pixel though, you have to like have always on display on, whereas with the Samsung, it will always unlock when you go like that. Just a little difference I noticed. But overall, generally the speed is about the same. Accuracy, I find a little bit better on the Samsung, but still very good for the Pixel. Okay, so everything is closed out on both phones. Generally speaking, going through both phones, both of them are pretty smooth. I think the Samsung feels a little faster, honestly. The Pixel feels slick and smooth as well. But there's been this issue I've been noticing, whereas when I'm scrolling in certain applications, it looks a little choppier than the Samsung, and that could be because the Samsung has had more updates, but the Samsung feels a little smoother when scrolling in applications right now at this current point. But instead of doing all the applications first, what we're going to do first is something some subscribers have been recommending. We're going to run the benchmarks first. So we'll start with the Geekbench. I'll be back when they're done. Okay, and so the test is finished. The Galaxy S23 Ultra finishing with a higher score of 2054 on the single and 5453. Multi-core score here is higher than in my last speed test, so maybe the theory of doing the benchmark before the app test does give you a higher score. And then 1773 on the single core right there. So a good chunk better on that multi-core score, but not a massive leap on the Samsung's single core. Now keep in mind, Android 14 launched with the Pixel. I don't have 14 official available yet for my S23 Ultra, so that's a little difference there. Now, I think it's a little funny that in 3D Mark, the Pixel is recommending the wildlife. Well, 3D Mark is recommending the regular wildlife, whereas with this one, also recommending the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and just run these extreme tests though. This one right here, Wildlife Extreme, to get a test of the graphics here. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play, and I'll be back when they're done with their final results. And so our final scores are in, and you could see a 3802 on the overall score for the S23 Ultra, but a 2397 on the 8 Pro. You also see a pretty big jump in the frame rates here, so the Samsung gonna be easily the better gaming phone. Now if we scroll down here, you'll see that we did not change in battery life too much between either. It looks like the Pixel does operate a little bit warmer. They both rose 1 degree, but the Pixel was operating a little bit warmer. You can see right there that the average frame rates were just higher on the Samsung. That doesn't mean the Pixel won't be able to play games pretty well. It will, but it's just going to be a better performer and probably a better sustained performance in the gaming area graphically on the Samsung phone. Okay, and you can see everything is closed out for both phones. Let's go into calendar. See, faster, it looked like maybe on the Samsung. Let's head up out of there. We'll go into clock. Maybe a hair quicker on the animation to the Samsung. You can see once you're in the application, you're gonna have no issues whatsoever. Let's go into weather. Maybe faster on the Pixel, but very close And again, sometimes I could be wrong, let me know. Let's go into calculator faster on the Samsung Play Store. You could see definitely scrolling is better on the Samsung. There's just a little more chop right now on the Pixel. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe we need an update. You can see Samsung just snappier, man. Just a snappier phone. And the thing is because the Samsung S23 Ultra has been out, this was on the right, has been out for a while, that means you can get it at the same price as the Pixel 8 Pro right now. And I'm not saying that the Pixel 8 Pro is not the better choice. I think it's a more comfortable phone to hold. I also think it's better in the camera department when it comes to photography. But the Galaxy is great for features, but look, you can see that choppy scroll on the Pixel. Team Pixel, we got to get this scrolling a little bit better, and maybe an update. But in terms of general speed, I think it's kind of impressive how the Pixel G3 can keep up easily in day-to-day speed with the tensor or with the Snapdragon. So the Snapdragon really only pulls its weight or pulls more weight when it comes to when you get into things like gaming or where you're actually going to push the CPU. That's where you really actually will take advantage of that chip. Faster here on the right. I'm telling you right now, using both phones, loading stuff day to day, these phones are rockets, both of them. Benchmarks wise though, the Pixel is definitely behind. It's kind of like a phone from top level Samsung phone from like a year or two ago, maybe like 2 years ago. So like, yeah, we still got some catching up to do, but I'm not sure Pixel or Team Pixel or maybe even the Google team cares about having, you know, the fastest chip in the world. They're more about the experience, more about the optimization. And so if you want a very good experience, you know, where it's just hardware optimized for software, you know, Pixel has its own strengths. They don't need to have the fastest chip in the world to be a competitive phone. I think it's impressive that they can even compete in general with a top level flagship without even having a top level chip or the chip that's going to beat it, because it's got AI smarts. It's got its own thing going for it. But the Samsung quicker there. And the thing is that neither of these phones are really going to slow you down. The Samsung is incredibly fast, and I think it's been pretty impressive this year for the entire S23 series. They have been the most impressive improvements. Like, if you know, like that award they do in basketball, it's like Sixth Man of the Year, or most improved player, most improved player. Samsung would be the most improved player this year because, you know, they really just went to town on optimizing the speed and the software for the chip and giving you like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. It just makes me really excited about the upcoming S24 Ultra. I also am excited where Google's taking things because they've been getting really good with the optimization. This phone doesn't really get too hot anymore. Let's go into PUBG compared to Pixels of years before, and they're just getting better and better every year. So I think both phones are very exciting for what's to come. I think eventually we're gonna have a Pixel with blazing fast chip because, you know, they're always gonna improve. And that little flashing you're seeing, that only the camera can pick that up. That's like, you know, PWM and stuff like that. So you're not gonna see that in real life, just so you know. So you can see right here, very good example, PUBG mobile loading far faster on the Galaxy. Are we loading something? No, we're not. No, we're just loading the game. So yeah, far faster on a Galaxy phone. 3D Mark, Geekbench, and camera. And that was the Samsung again. So I think overall the Samsung felt faster, looked faster in most regards. In reality though, both of them are very smooth and fast, and I don't think this should be your main deciding factor. If you're really a heavy power user, you gotta pick the Samsung, straight up. If you're a user who doesn't care about, you know, having the fastest chip in the world, but you want a great smooth daily experience and you're really integrated in the Google ecosystem, you know, use a lot of Google services, and you just want a very simple, clean phone day to day, the Pixel has a case for itself over the Samsung. Some people might not like the way the Samsung software looks, and some may not like the Google software. It's just really great to have options though. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the RAM management. We'll start with the Pixel to see if we get any issues. I highly doubt it. We have 12 gigs of RAM. And so far, so good. Go into Starbucks. That looks like a slight reload. Go to Amazon, Instagram, X, Play Store, calculator. Really smooth transition from the gesture bar. Very smooth on the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Really good RAM management there. Let's take a look at the Geekbench. So how I would describe this is that the Pixel is just a hair behind, Apple and Samsung when it comes to speed and performance. They're just a little bit behind. Starbucks reloaded on Samsung as well. These companies just have faster chips. There's just no way around it. But the Pixel has a really good experience, so it doesn't need to have the fastest chip to at least be competitive. So that's what impressed me of the Pixel. They didn't put the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, yet they're still competitive. That's what's really impressive. It's because they have their own clean ecosystem, software that you just cannot match, long 7 years of software updates. It's just, they have their own case for them, regardless of the fact that the Samsung is a better performer. All right, let me pull up in the Tesla Model X here, the toy car. Don't judge me. I could be a kid again. Let's go into cameras here. We're gonna test cameras. So cameras, make sure they're closed. Cameras are all closed out. Nope, cameras weren't closed out. There we go. Let's go ahead and do this test now in 3, 2, go. That was on the front-facing camera, still faster. We'll do it again because that was on the front-facing camera. 3, 2, go. I knew it was going to be faster, still faster on the Samsung. Go. And let's see how they transition between lenses. Which one's smoother? Pretty close. I think the Samsung is a little smoother transitioning on the lenses. Yeah, so you can see a natural look on the, you can just see an example, a natural look on the Pixel. We have more of a saturated look on the Samsung. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here. We did the biometrics, we did the benchmarks, we did the app and RAM management. You can see the Samsung remains king. This phone has beaten, it just feels like who's next? Like every time I get a phone, I feel like this is the king of 2023 in performance, and it's just like who's next? This is like the boss phone who's just like, next? You want some? Who's next? Like the alpha. This is like the alpha of the year of 2023. So Samsung crushed it. It makes me excited about the S24 Ultra, where they're gonna take the design and hopefully they improve the performance even more, because that'll just extend the lead. So thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and honestly, just get whichever one you want. They're both amazing phones. They both perform really good, but the Samsung is just faster from a pure raw speed standpoint. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here, be sure to be well, and peace.